Okay guys, so today I'm going to show you how to design a letterhead. First of all, create your new page. It's already on A4. If it wasn't on A4, you will come over to your property bar and choose A4 size. Okay, the next thing is I'm going to just type a name. Okay, let's say company's name. I'm going to use impact. You can use any font that you want, so use impact, increase it to the size I desire. So just hit Ctrl D as this is selected, double click, then press Ctrl A to select all. Then you can enter the motto of the company. For example, I'm just going to type this. Let's say slogan goes here. You don't want this to look the same as the heading, the main company's name, so I'm going to have to change this font to I want to use something that is readily available on your system. So let's use Arial Black. I'm going to enter this as size 12. Size 12 font is not too small, it's very readable. It's what you have on your letter. Let's make this 30. Alright, so select this and align left, position it where you want it to be. Okay, the next thing, I'm going to enter the address. You know, when you are doing letterhead, when you are creating letterhead, you can decide to place the addresses here and phone number. Another pattern of creating letterhead, you can bring the phone number down here. You can take the phone number to the center, the phone number together with the address, the contact address to the center, or to the right. It depends on how you want your letterhead to look like. You can also place your company's name here, contact address and phone number up here, and perhaps this down you might want to bring the slogan down here, or maybe on the center. It's just a concept. You just think of something and you create it. So let's create this. Okay, so I will put this as phone, or let's do this office address. Sometime you can decide to use an icon for the address and phone contact. If you don't want to type, you can use icon representing call contact and office contact or location. So I will make this 12 as well. Okay, you come here, double click on rectangle so that it brings the actual page size to the print area. This enables you quickly zoom to page size when you strike F4 on the keyboard. Okay, so I don't need the outline. What I'm going to do is click over here and choose none, and the outline color is gone. So I'm going to just draw a rectangle across this, and I will use my shape tool to reshape this so that my letterhead will begin to have a unique style. So just grab your shape tool, right click, ensure your shape is selected, right click on it and click convert to curve, convert to curves, or you simply strike Ctrl Q on the keyboard. So only the idea I have in my head right now, I want to just bend this and curve this other side a little bit. So just select a point, then click convert to curves. This brings out these two handles to enable you adjust the two nodes. So this is how I want my letterhead to look like, the bottom side. So take it down. You can come up with any concept of yours, but I'm just giving you an idea how you can go about this. So I have another concept that an idea right now. I want something like this shape, a curve, to come across here having a different color. So to do that easily, copy this shape, go to edit, click copy, go back, edit, click paste, and then click on the center and then skew this up a little bit. Alright, I still want this to be hidden when it comes up here. So come over to this other point, click and drag it down a little bit. Okay, this is exactly what I want. So the technique now is to bring one of the objects forward. So let's think of a color. I'm going to just use any color. Let's use, I'm trying to think of a color. Okay, so I will go with this. Okay, so look at this. This object is at the front of the one with plain color. So, but I want this to be behind this other object. Do you understand? I want this with the color to be behind the one with that color. So what I'm going to do is just make sure you select the one behind, go to object, go to order, click in front. So I'm bringing this object in front of the colored one. So now click. Alright, the next thing is to pick a color for the object at the front. I don't want to use color that is too far from what I have. I'm trying to make sure my colors are cool. Alright, so I'm cool with this. Drag your marquee selection tool across, go to your outline width box and click none. Now what we are going to do next is called power clipping. We've done this before in the previous class. So select this object together and then click group, or simply go to object, go to group and click group. Shortcut is Ctrl G. So now the object is grouped, meaning if I select this object, they are going to move along together. Alright, select this object, right click on the object, click power clip inside. So with the arrow pointing, we want this. Remember there is a shape, a rectangle shape across here. So with this selected, just click. So you remember I double click here before and a rectangle shape came across on the print layout, so carrying the total page size of the print layout. So now that I have power clipped the object inside the container, we can click edit make sure the object is selected, click on edit the content. You can see our object is inside and we can adjust it if we want to do that. Okay, so I'm cool with this. Just going to take it down a little bit, and that's okay. Click finish editing. Shortcut to editing content inside a container. Ensure the container is selected. Hold down Ctrl key on the keyboard and click. When you are done, hold down Ctrl key on the keyboard, go to the empty part of the screen and click on the mouse. So that's meaning you have clicked finish editing. Okay, let's give a color here. You can always play around with color, but it's better to keep your color uniform. Like you can just maintain 2 or 3 colors on your letterhead. So we are already having a letterhead concept right now. I just zoom it to full screen. I press F4 to zoom to page size, and then I press F9 to zoom to full screen. Okay, now let's create a simple logo. On our previous class, I'm holding down Ctrl key while dragging so I can have a full circle. In our previous class, we learned how to trim shapes. So I'm going to simply duplicate this. I'm holding down Shift key while dragging. So the circumference altogether resizes, whether I resize in or out. So I'm dragging my mouse button, then right click on the mouse to have the shape you just resize. Or you don't want to go through that process, you can just copy and paste by pressing Ctrl C on your keyboard and Ctrl V, or you make sure your object is selected, go to edit, click copy, go back to edit, click paste, and then hold down Shift key while dragging to resize your object. So at this point, I'm going to the one at the front is selected. I just give it a color to differentiate. So I'm going to use this to trim over this one behind, so that I will now have this space, this green shape space, to be empty, so I can proceed on creating what I want to create. You know, the concept is in my head, so you can just create what you have in your head. You know, you can also decide to sketch your logo before going further to design on the system. So this is just a rough tutorial. I'm showing you the process whereby you can go about creating your own letterhead and a very simple logo. So let's proceed. This is selected. I hold down Shift key and click on the next object. Then on the property bar, you can see this is weld. It will combine this object, but I don't need the weld. What I need is trim. Cut out a portion of an object by using the shape of another object. So I click on it. Now this space is empty. By the time I drag the green one out, let's give this a color. You can see through the middle, meaning I have used this shape to trim out that shape over this. Okay, I'm removing the fill, the outline color, and the next thing, I want to cut this into 2 in the middle. Go to crop, click until you have the fly out menu, and then click on knife. I click while dragging. I hold down my Shift key, and that's it. So I've gotten a cut. Just going to play around with this. I'm using this shape to trim over this. I'm using the one at the front to trim over the one behind. So select the one at the front, then hold down Shift key, select the next one and click trim. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I actually want to use only this. With my shape tool, I'm selecting the whole of this place, then press delete on the keyboard. Okay, so we are trying to create a simple logo. I remember I did not even sketch this in the first place, so I'm kind of just coming up with a rough concept just so we can have a logo. Okay, I want to trim my logo off, the part of the logo. I want to trim it off from here. I want to trim this other side off. So with the guideline, you can just simply click on the ruler, drag, and then you have a guideline. Okay, so make sure you have a proper guide. Click on rectangle tool. I'm on the guideline, so I just create a rectangle across the part I don't need. This selected, hold down shift key, select the next one and click trim. Okay, so this is the part we are probably going to use as our logo. I don't need this and this. To delete a guideline after drawing, simply click on the guideline and press delete. But in a situation where you have multiple guidelines and you want to delete them, go to edit, select all, and you say guidelines. Then press delete on your keyboard, or simply go to edit menu and click delete. At this point, select all the object together and then group it. You can also press Ctrl G on your keyboard to group. So this is our company's logo. This is what is called watermark, where you see a logo or company name embedded at the center or any part of the letterhead. To do this, simply duplicate your logo. You can select, press Ctrl D to duplicate, or just right click on the logo, drag it away and click copy here. At this point, you can expand your logo. And this is the concept I want. But then I want this logo to have white running through it so that it doesn't look look like I'm just placing it there. I want to differentiate it from the background running through. So I'll just duplicate this, right click and drag it away to the position you want and click copy here. I'll change this to white. Okay, and then I'm zooming in by screwing my mouse wheel. So I'll click on this and bring it to front. So you can see this is what I was explaining that I want to achieve. So at this point, I'll select these two logos and power clip it inside. Now this is fine for me, but then I want this logo to be faded. So we are going to go in and select the two logos together, go to Bitmap, click convert to Bitmap. Now we are converting this from being a vector object to a bitmap image. I just choose my color mode as RGB because it will be best, it will maintain this color. So click OK. Ensure you check transparent background. If you didn't check this, it's going to appear when you click OK. It will come up with a white square. It will come up with its own background. Let's try it. You see, there's a white background behind the logo, and we don't want that. We want it to be transparent so that we can see through the object. Let's go back to edit, convert to bitmap, check transparent background. I'm using RGB color mode to convert, and then click OK. Okay, let's try CMYK. If you notice, the color kind of changed. So let's go back to bitmap, convert to bitmap. Let's use CMYK and click OK. So it maintained the color, and that's okay. Now the next thing, we want to make this want to fade this logo into this background. Go to transparency tool and click. Either you drag it across, or you simply zoom a little bit out so you can see the live adjustment appearing here. Then you adjust. Hold down Ctrl or click finish editing. Okay. This doesn't look too nice because it's showing behind this line. This line is showing. So I'm just going to move this. You can just do what rocks you, you know. This is good. I love this. Now let's adjust this a little bit. So we've gotten a letterhead design. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to select all by simply pressing Ctrl A on my keyboard, then copy this to the second page. I'm going to add a page here. I've added a second page, so this page 1 and page 2. I'm pasting this. Now let's try a different concept. The new concept is that I don't need this, so I'm moving my logo over here, and then my slogan, office address, telephone number, email. Let me add email. All right, so this is the second concept, and I'm moving this over here. It can also be at the right hand if you want. Let's try the third one. This is going to be the last. So I'm moving the logo to the top. I select it together with the business name to ensure it's centralized. Then go to Object, go to Align and Distribute, click Center, Align Centers horizontally. Observe the logo has moved to the center of the text. So I'm just going to do the same thing with the slogan. I'm selecting all of them together. Object, Align and Distribute, Align Center horizontally. Together now, so I will just group this and click. While it's selected, I'll click on the main page, Object, Align and Distribute, Align Centers horizontally. Okay, with that being done, I'm going to try a different concept here. Let's make this 80% transparency. Okay. So I'm bringing this over here. I just drew a rectangle across and I've resized it very small so it appears like a line. I'm going to copy and paste. I press Ctrl C and V on my keyboard. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So I'm giving this a different color. So we have two shapes here, one laying over the other one. Okay, so this is what I want, and this is how I want my letterhead to look like. I can simply present this as a sample to my client. My client will have three options to go with. So this is where we've come to an end on how to design a letterhead and a simple logo. Another time we'll focus more on logo creation.